Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk and his recent take on the whole Juneteenth holiday, which is obviously today, and why he's actually not wrong about what he's saying here. So, for those that don't know, Juneteenth is basically supposed to celebrate the official end of slavery in America. It was basically the day that apparently, I think it was basically the last family or something who did not realize that slavery ended like decades ago. Before that, were told at I think it was some part of Texas or something, or some, I don't know exactly which state, maybe it was Mississippi, I'm not sure. But basically, it was some state somewhere, you know, over towards the West Coast. And yeah, you had some dude come and tell them, they're like, "You guys are free, you know that, right?" And they're like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." And yeah, apparently they realized, like, yeah, they were finally free men, is what it was. And then what's interesting too, by the way, if you look at what happened at the end of slavery, obviously, and what it led to after the fact, it led to a lot of a lot of freed blacks who were previously slaves actually becoming sharecroppers and usually doing like co-op grows and stuff like that with each other. So it makes sense, honestly, when you look at it, because of the fact that, you know, it was pretty much the only thing they knew growing up and stuff. And when you're having, the same job, uh, whether it be getting paid or not, and, being in slavery and stuff like that, it's going to be a situation where it's like, yeah, that's the only thing you really know how to do, is what it is. So it's like, why wouldn't you do that continuously for pretty much the rest of your life then? But anyway, so to get to the take I was talking about here with Charlie Kirk, he posted the following, I think it was this morning or yesterday on Twitter, that said, "If Juneteenth was really about emancipation, why not September 22nd, 1862, when Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, or January 1st, 1863, the day the proclamation took effect, or December 18th, 1865, with the ratification of the 13th Amendment, which basically outlawed slavery in the country? Because it's not about emancipation, which was one of America's great moral achievements. It's about creating a summertime race-based competitor 2 weeks before July 4th, which should be the most unifying civic holiday on the calendar." Yeah, he's not wrong about that at all, honestly. And that's exactly what it is, dude. When you look at Juneteenth specifically, what is it? It's a holiday specifically for black people in this country. And what happens every Juneteenth, since it's been, put in place since Obama's dumbass or not Obama, since that dumbass Biden's administration. I say Obama because Obama's puppet master behind Biden. That's what it is. But yeah, since Biden's dumbass took over and they were the one that made it fucking official, is what it is. You've had it in place right now for what, 2 years, 3 years? Every single fucking year so far. Massacre, massacre, massacre. Gun mass shooting, gun mass shooting, gun mass shooting. 20-something people last night shot outside of fucking Chicago in some suburb, having a fucking gathering, having a get together. And it's happening everywhere. I guarantee there's more than that out there. I guarantee there's going to be like 20, 30 stories this year for Juneteenth shootings and stuff. Same exact thing from last year, same exact thing from 2021. Because that's what it is. It's fucking stupid. And it is racially dividing at this point, dude. It's a way, and Biden fucking admitted it, basically, the whole point. Him and Kamala both. They want to racially divide this fucking country. It's straight out of the Rules for Radicals playbook, people, for God's sakes. I've been talking about that for a while on this channel. When you actually look at the Rules for Radical playbook, it's literally divide and conquer strategies. And it always works, unfortunately. Because a lot of times people are too stupid to actually see what the fuck's going on in front of their face, and would sit there and rather be like, "Oh no, let's divide everybody and let's do our own thing over here," or whatever. And then you got fucking, what was it? University of California, Berkeley, or whatever it was there recently, that did a fucking race-based graduation ceremony for black-only students. It's like, what the hell kind of racist shit is that, dude? Because number one, you are actively defying, I believe it is part of the Constitution itself, and also U.S. codes and stuff like that, for when it comes to actually having only like one graduation ceremony that's for everybody, not just for a single race, is what it is. And then on top of that, you're specifically doing it because, unfortunately, in a lot of cases, these folks do want to fucking resegregate, I believe, is what it is. You know, you see it all over Twitter all the time. You see it all over all these social media sites all the time. Or you got these people shit talking white Americans is what it is. And then being like, oh, we should, and then basically saying, oh, we should resegregate, basically, in so many words. And that's the thing, right? Like, if they really want that, okay, cool. Take fucking California for the most part. You know, take that state. Take it over. Fucking just take it, man. Take it, make it into your own thing then. But it would be even worse than it is now. That's the whole point. It's already a fucking shithole. It can't be even more of a shithole unless you would have like the worst people ever in control of it. And it would be legitimately all these dumb motherfucking politicians, like your Maxine Waters types, etc., dude. Because that's the thing, right? I mean, hell, look, Democrats have done a great job, by the way, destroying states right now in this country, whether it be California, New York, Michigan's another great one right now. Maine is another great one right now. I'm trying to think what else now. Oregon, Washington State for sure is gone. Yeah, that's a done state right now. Delaware, Connecticut. Actually, interestingly enough, a lot of the original 13 colonies that became states, like Massachusetts, etc., there, as well as Connecticut and Delaware and stuff like that. So yeah, they basically have destroyed like a lot of great states, man. A lot of great states. And it's funny too when you look at a lot of the anti-gun states in this country right now. It all tends to be like the original 13 colony states, more or less. And it's just like you kind of almost have to laugh about it because it's like they took what should have been the greatest, freest areas in this country and just completely bashed them over the head with a fucking shovel. And it's funny to me that you got old pedo Joe being the one behind most of this shit with the whole, you know, Juneteenth holiday and stuff like that. Which, by the way, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I said it fucking this morning actually when I did the last Grandstand. Legitimately, all Juneteenth is, especially when it falls on a Monday like this, it's a way to get a 4-day holiday for fucking government officials. That's all it is, dude. It's a way for these lazy fucking politicians to get a 4-day weekend, so they can have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday together, instead of just being like, okay, it's Monday, go back to work. Or it's other people in like corporate America and stuff like that. They're like, okay, cool, we got a 4-day holiday now. And that's all they want. They want an extra date off is what it is. You know, whether it be big banksters, whether it be giant corporation heads, whether it be fucking whatever, doesn't matter. You know, like I said, a lot of cases politicians, a lot of cases just government officials in general that aren't, you know, elected officials and stuff like that. So it'd be government employees and stuff. But yeah, it's a bunch of shit, dude. It's a lazy way to be lazy because you're trying to basically force through a holiday that in reality should have been a different day on the calendar is what it is. And that's the thing. I have no problem if they want to make a holiday, but as Charlie Kirk pointed out, there's 3 or 4 other days in the calendar cycle that you could easily have this be that day. Whether it be the day the Emancipation Proclamation was signed into place by Abraham Lincoln, whether it be the day that it took effect, whether it be a different day for that matter. But no, they want to sit there and try to compete with 4th of July, the greatest fucking holiday in America that celebrates the founding of America in a lot of cases because of the fact that we're talking about pretty much the time period that our founding fathers literally fought the British Empire to get freedom and become an actual free nation. And then obviously, you know, had a roundtable discussion and wrote down what is now known as the U.S. Constitution. And that's the entire point, you know. If it wasn't for the founders of this country, we wouldn't be an empire right now. We wouldn't be an actual, you know, constitutional republic, or at least as close to it as we should be right now, which we're not that close anymore because of obviously, you know, you got banana republic bullshit going on. You got fucking wannabe theocracies going on. You got wannabe dictatorships going on. You have obviously oligarchies going on throughout our various political, congressional, and senatorial seats of power right now. when these people are sitting there for lifetime, basically, seats is what it is. Your Pelosi types, your Schumer types, Waters, Feinstein, etc. Lindsey Graham's not only scumbags, Mitch McConnell's not only scumbags. It's all a bunch of fucking just absolute bullshit. In a lot of cases, it is due to gerrymandering, especially when you're talking about these leftist blue states that will gerrymander entire districts into like little fucking snippets and shit like that. When in reality, the entire district should be like this county, and then you have like this part of a county, and then this fucking coastline that's all elitist fucking blue check marks on Twitter and stuff like that. So, anyway. But yeah, the entire point is, it's a bunch of shit all the way around. And the fact that you're sitting here and we are actively having this as a national holiday is kind of a slap in the face to all of America at this point. Because you're specifically celebrating something that could be celebrated any other time throughout the calendar year, especially certain dates, as Charlie Kirk points out. And I'll go ahead and throw up his tweet here again just to point out what dates those actually were. Yeah, it would be September 22nd, January 1st, December 18th. So it would either be the day that Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, the day it took effect, or the day the ratification of the 13th Amendment happened, which is obviously, about slavery and extra servitude. Actually, we're going to go ahead and read the 13th Amendment right now from the U.S. Constitution, just to prove exactly what it's about here. Right now. Let's see, that would be 14. Is that 13? Yeah. Amendment 13, Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist in the United States or any place subject to its jurisdiction. Section 2. Congress shall have power to enforce the article by appropriate legislation. So literally, it was banning slavery except as a punishment for a crime. Which, by the way, it's interesting when you look at the state of Ohio right now because you have a bunch of Democrats, a lot of which to cut into power in one-horse races, that are now pushing for Ohio to basically outlaw slavery / servitude as a punishment for a crime in our state right now and of our state constitution. So the thing is, like, to me, that seems like it'd be kind of odd, seeing as how when you look at a lot of the prison systems in this country that are for-profit prisons, you technically could say that they're involuntary servitude, or at least some form of slavery, if you really go down that rabbit hole. So it's like, does that mean you're going to have no longer prison systems in the state then? Like, that doesn't make any sense, I don't know, man. And I would think, honestly, it goes more to the fact of it's like, okay, so I know for a fact when a lot of people are on probation and stuff like that, they're going out there on the roadsides and picking up trash and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, are we no longer going to have people on probation picking up trash then? Because technically that would be involuntary servitude because you're on probation. That's a condition of your probation is what it would be then. So, yeah. I don't think they've thought this out, honestly. To be honest, it doesn't really make much sense that they would, honestly, when you think about it, because when you look at a lot of these politicians, they don't know their ass from their elbow, man. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They are some of the dumbest pieces of shit ever. And the only reason they get into office is because you either have, puppet masters backing them with finances and stuff like that in their campaigns, or it's that they have just enough intelligence to basically get elected, but then don't think of the ramifications after the fact. Or maybe they do actually, and that's the whole point. They want those ramifications to be in effect right now, and so they'll do that kind of shit is what it is. So either way, it's interesting when you look at Charlie Kirk's take there. And of course you got dumbass fucking leftists over Reddit being all like, oh, this is racist shit that Charlie Kirk is saying. No, it's not. He's speaking the truth, man. The only reason you're claiming this racism is because you hate the man. Because he's actually a self-made dude at this point, pretty much. Hell, it was him and Candace Owens were like the main two that created Turning Point USA, if I'm not mistaken. Now, granted, they might have had financial backers, and I'm not sure. I don't think it was like, just a grassroots off the ground kind of thing is what it was. I'm pretty sure they got like financial backing some places, what it was there. But either way, they, took the initiative and got that financial backing to become, magnitude and basically what a lot of people call like conservative ink or conservative ink right now. And they're basically making it happen, Do I agree with everything that they say? No, I don't. Do I think Charlie Kirk is right about this particular thing? Yes, I do. And that's the whole point entirely. And when you start looking at what has actually become of Juneteenth since it became an official holiday, you might as well call it Mass Shooters Day, honestly, because that's pretty much what happens every day that it happens, dude. You have these motherfuckers come out of the woodwork and just create massacre after massacre, but because obviously the mainstream media refuses to talk about, black on black crime, they never admit that it's fucking going on there. You never actually have them admit that, hey, this is actually happening and it needs to be dealt with accordingly. And sadly, in a lot of cases, it happens to do with fatherless homes. It happens to be dads in jail or dead or whatever the case be, dipped out on mom, just so like little bitch is what it was. And so you have these single mother households in many cases where you have no father figure at all. And then even a lot of these kids are now admitting straight up that they're going and joining these gangs because they're looking for a fucking father figure in the gangs. Whether it be the dude that's leading the gang or whether it be like one of the other guys in the gang that's like, an older, maybe cousin or older, uncle or something to them. And it's like, yeah, they're looking for that father figure mentality is what it is. And they're chasing the father figure that's never going to be a good role model for them in those gangs. And so they end up catching charges at, 8, 9, 10 years old, or maybe a little bit older, depending here and there. But it seems like anymore, it's getting younger and younger. Hell, I've seen 6 and 7-year-olds nowadays doing fucking criminal shit, dude, within these gangs. And it's like, you're talking about fucking youngsters, dude. Like, you're talking about little fucking kids right now that should just be going out and playing with fucking toys and shit, dude. Not picking up fucking guns and killing people. It's just insane. Like, it's psychotic mentality is what it is. And at some point, you're going to see the levee break. It's going to be like Hurricane Katrina. The levees just start breaking. And the fucking entire city gets flooded like a fucking soup bowl, basically. And I think it's going to happen again very soon, honestly. Both metaphorically and physically. I mean that obviously in the fact that you have, for New Orleans there, they're pretty much on the cusp right now of having those levees break again because, unfortunately, even with how much they put into them to make them a thing again a few years back now, I was watching a show called 5 Days at Memorial, which was about one of the hospitals that killed a bunch of people and during the hurricane and stuff like that. And they were saying about how it was like the end of this year or beginning of next year, somewhere in there, is when you'd have to have those levees be basically fixed again. Cost more billions and billions of dollars to do it because of all the rainfall there and how you basically have a bunch of morons that built an entire city under fucking water and more or less an entire state underwater for that matter. Like you specifically look at the city of New Orleans, that whole motherfucker is like this. It's a literal fucking bowl. It goes down into like a thing. So where you have to have the water go down into it like a soup bowl basically. Or like a cereal bowl or something. And yeah, eventually it's going to topple over that bowl. And it's going to basically sink that city again. It's just sad, man. Like, why anybody would choose to live there willingly is beyond me at this point. Now, granted, I'm sure there's some people that have grown up there is what it is, and they can't leave because they don't have financial means to leave is what it is. Otherwise, they probably will get the hell out is what it is. But yeah, it sucks for the people that have, like, willingly decided, like, oh, I want to live in New Orleans or whatever. And it's like, okay. And then you wonder why you get fucked up by hurricanes. And it's just like, bro, seriously. Like, that's on you at that point, But anyway. Yeah, we're going to come in here and talk about that, though. That's about it for the day, though. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll finish off the month with, or finish off this month cycle on this account with that other one I was going to talk about with the guy who, killed his family and how, honestly, Ohio does need the death penalty by firing squad at this point. So, yeah. But other than that, I'm going to say it like it is. Happy belated Father's Day to everybody. If you are celebrating Juneteenth today, don't be stupid. Don't shoot each other, man. Come on. Like, again, can you not have one day where you all have a fucking truce and just say, put the guns down, man? You can deal with those issues later. Hell, better yet, put the guns down entirely, criminals, and deal with those issues like fucking men and have a good old-fashioned fucking fist fight. But that's the problem. Y'all are a bunch of fucking pussies that don't actually want to take a fucking ass whooping. And that's the entire point of the matter, is that you're too much of a bunch of fucking cowards to actually take a beating. You're too much of a fucking coward to actually throw fists, because half of y'all motherfuckers don't even know how to punch. And that's the entire point. You've never learned how to fight. You never learned how to fight properly with your dukes. You know? Put up the dukes, baby. Get it done correctly. Hell, I remember back in the day, you know, there's all kinds of fucking shows from back in like the 1800s and stuff like that, 1900s and stuff like that, where you have these dudes in makeshift fucking boxing rings, bare knuckle brawling, mind you, going 13, 14, 15 fucking rounds or more. And their knuckles are all busted up and swollen and shit. And they know how to fucking fight because they learn how to fucking fight, man. You know, it's not that hard to basically make a fist and throw a punch, dude. You just gotta know not to break your fucking thumbs. You gotta know to put your thumbs out on the outside so you don't break them is what it is. You don't put your thumb in and then go like that. You gotta put your thumb out and make the proper fist is what it is. And actually fist, you know, punch somebody properly is what it is, man. So, anyway. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for the day. Like I said, be back tomorrow for that next episode, which will be obviously 247 instead of 250, because I'm doing this in sort of reverse in some ways, because I did that one as a thing earlier a couple days ago, and I never did film it as what it was. So either way, yeah, I'll be back here some point tomorrow afternoon probably, and we'll be talking about that. And then if I don't do it tomorrow, 100% it'll be Wednesday then, because it really depends. My back is giving me fits right now, so need to go to the chiropractor. I'm not sure exactly when I'll be able to get in there, but yeah, if nothing else, I might not be here tomorrow to film it, but I will be here on Wednesday for sure, though. So either way, it'll be filmed at some point in the next 2 days is what it is, and we'll discuss it then. But other than that, that's where we're at for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, Charlie Kirk is not wrong about his statement there. You could have easily had another day on the calendar that would have been a better holiday to celebrate, you know, the end of slavery in this country, is what it is. Really, Juneteenth is just a way for a bunch of lazy fucking politicians to get a 4-day weekend, and it's really as simple as that. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you in the next one. Later.